OMG. Please, please let this end. I left off talking about this editorial company I work for, and outside of Miami, I help a little bit with their job seeking. I look at cover letters and resumes, and uh, if there's a typo, first thing I look at is the structure of the cover letters and resumes overall. What do they look like? I can talk more about that in class if you'd like me to do that for you. But I'll tell you right now, if there's a typo, if there's an incorrect grammar, they're out, especially for an editorial company. If I see one error, that resume and cover letter, you're done, in the trash. Worse, if you're trying to publish something and you're inaccurate, you can be sued. It's slander, by the way, if you say something inaccurately. It's libel if you write something inaccurately. So as your textbook says, accuracy is the most important characteristic of any story, great or small, long or short. Always spell names correctly. If you have a yearbook from your high school or middle school years, and if your name has been misspelled in that book, you probably are very upset about that. Always spell names of people correctly. Always quote accurately. If you aren't sure if the quote is accurate, then paraphrase. Don't quote. Always get the details right. If people accuse you of writing a biased story, so the article on Joseph Barrera and Kentucky Fried Chicken, fine. If you look at it as biased, we can deal with that. A writer can deal with that. But an inaccurate story means that people are never going to trust you. You can then write whatever you want to write, and people will always come back to that inaccuracy. Ask Brian Williams, who was the host of NBC's Nightly News, about inaccuracies and the damage that cost him. It cost him tens of millions of dollars because he was let go of his job as an anchor on the Nightly News because of his inability to be trusted. Walter Cronkite, he was not. On pages 14 and 15, it can be very tough to be objective. You might have extremely strong feelings about a topic, but yet you still have an obligation to present the information fairly. We are almost finished here. Number 23, that's a link of people trying to, an article about reporters trying to stay objective when it comes to Donald Trump. So please read that article. Okay, last but not least, we're going to go back to Fox and Friends. That's Donald Trump's favorite TV show, reportedly. Back when Obama was president, they reported that President Obama planned to apologize to Japan for the U.S. bombing Japan back in World War II. So please watch this video of the Fox and Friends folks talking about Obama's apology tour that included apologizing to Japan. All right, except Obama wasn't planning on doing that. And so this next link, this is number 25, Fox and Friends had to retract that original reporting. Watch the retraction. You tell me what you think about the retraction from Fox and Friends. Is the apology good enough? What are some potential issues with that 30-second apology? Well, if you're like me, you probably realize that there might be some people who weren't tuning in for those 30 seconds when Fox and Friends apologized. And so they miss that retraction or apology. So as far as those folks know, what was reported the day before, I believe, was absolutely accurate. What if people send out the original error on their social media sites and then they don't send a correction? How many people actually correct some things that they posted on social media? So you can see how this can spiral out of control to where people are going to believe a report that ends up not being true. And this happens to all media, not just Fox and Friends, where an organization will get something incorrect and they'll print, usually, sometimes they don't correct themselves, but usually when they do, it's in really small print. If it's a printed news organization like Time Magazine will make mistakes, and you can find those mistakes within the first few pages of the magazine, but the font is like 5-point font. Or if it's on TV, like the Fox and Friends thing, it happens in 30 seconds and then it's over. And to make sure that you know I'm not being biased against the right, you can click on the last one, number 26, and you can see the errors that NBC News has made just in the last few days and then beyond. It's a long, long list, so you don't have to look at it. Just know that they all make mistakes. You're going to misspeak. You're going to say or write something that is simply wrong. So when you do it, you need to admit it. Sometimes those mistakes can be pretty funny, so I'm going to leave you with a little humor, a little comic relief after all of this serious talk about journalism. So enjoy, if you would, please. Just go ahead and scroll down and read the hilarious accuracy fails that have happened in print. So yeah, enjoy that. Thanks for hanging in there with me. Appreciate it. If you have any questions or concerns, let me know. If not, I will see you